There was a pleasant pre-budget surprise for the Treasurer today, with underlying inflation edging down to its lowest point in almost a decade. Seasonal inflation was also down thanks to a dramatic fall in food prices and bananas in particular. The political reaction to the news was littered with banana skin moments, with both sides slipping up on the issue of exactly when the Reserve Bank meets to analyse today's figures. Political correspondent Tom Eagledon reports from Canberra.
The government sees the economy as a road out of the political doldrums.
Ready to go?
And today's better than expected inflation data's just the ticket.
OK, let's run through it.
Inflation for the March quarter was a minuscule 0.1%, dropping the annualised headline rate to 1.6%, and that wasn't all.
Underlying inflation now sits at the bottom of the Reserve Bank target band after falling to its lowest level in over a decade. Contained inflation is a reminder of our strong economic fundamentals that put the Australian economy in a league of its own.
The strong Australian dollar dampened the cost of imported goods, but falling food and drink prices led the result lower. Cost of fruit and veggies fell by 30%.
With banana prices alone falling by 60% in the quarter.
The result provided a slippery path for an opposition leader on the attack.
Oh my God, it's challenge. I'm always anxious about challenges.
And he duly skidded.
Should the Reserve Bank lower interest rates today, that will be welcomed.
If he was less focused on his mud bucket and the baseball bat, then he would have known that the Reserve Bank is meeting on interest rates next week.
The journalist pointed out Mr Abbott's mistake to him.
CPI figures today, not interest rate today.
And obviously the bank is looking at the CPI figures.
We all make mistakes, but when you want to be the alternative Prime Minister of Australia, interest rates is just such an important issue.
But Mr Shorten then had his own banana skin moment.
The Reserve Bank Board has been meeting on the second Tuesday of the month since 1960. It's been meeting on the second Tuesday of the month since 1960. Mr Abbott doesn't do his homework.
It actually meets on the first Tuesday of every month, including next Tuesday. Economists agree today's result will have a major impact on that meeting.
You can see the case for an interest rate cut, and more than just one of them is building very, very rapidly.
The recent form of retail banks have some worried about how much households would benefit from a rate cut.
What may happen next week and what the response of the banks would be, I don't intend to put the cart before the horse.
But the Reserve Bank's coming under pressure to take commercial bank responses into account next week.
We could see the situation that if the RBA only goes 25 basis points, that we'll still have mortgage rates and small business lending rates where they were in December, more or less. So I think if they go 50, if they want to achieve a bit of an injection of cash flow into the economy, they've got to go more than the 25, and that means 50.
There's just one potential fly in the ointment, a revival of European debt fears following the collapse of the Dutch government and a rise in anti-austerity sentiment in the French election. But back here in Canberra, the government's been emphasising the Reserve Bank's independence after last week appearing to pressure the bank to cut interest rates. Today's inflation result is apparently doing that job well enough on its own. Tom Eagledon, Lateline.